Hi, I'm Matthew Parker, the champion of print. We all know it's getting harder and harder to keep our customers. Customer loyalty is a big issue at the moment. But I do think that many people don't realise just how bad the situation can be. I read a report recently focused on the printing industry that suggested that the average printing company should budget to lose, on average, 15% of their customers every year. Now, hopefully, that's not going to be 15% of your turnover. Hopefully, it's the small ones that are going to drop off and not the large ones. But what would happen if you did lose one of your largest customers? The printing industry isn't alone in suffering from issues with customer loyalty. In fact, research by Google shows that in all sectors, the average company should budget to lose between 15 and 20% of their customers. So in other words, you could be losing 1 in 5 of your customers over the next 12 months. Here's a story about one printing company I met a few years ago. Now, they're a small to medium-sized commercial printer. They've got a bit of digital, they've got some litho, and they've been busy producing pharmaceutical leaflets for a key client. And that client, over the years, had grown and grown until perhaps they become just a little bit too reliant on that client. They'd always had a good working relationship, they got on well, the company never messed up with any of the deliveries. But then one day, their client brought in a new buyer. That buyer decided they wanted to make their mark, they ran a tender for the work, and the printing company lost the contract. 20% of their turnover went just like that. What would happen if that happened to you? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to run through 7 action points for you that will help you guard against the issues of losing customers. 3 of them are going to be longer term ones, maybe slightly larger strategies that you should put in place. And then I've got 4 things that you can think about doing straight away. But let's start by looking at the longer term strategies. So 3 strategies here. First of all, it's really important you start thinking about setting up a customer retention program. What can you do to keep hold of your most important clients? Maybe think about grading your clients. Think about which of the clients are the most important to you, either from revenue or profit, and start reaching out to those clients on a more regular basis. Then, while you're talking to those clients, I'd like you to think about forward budgeting with them. Now, a lot of people tell me that it's really difficult to know what's coming in with their clients from one day to the next. And I'm certainly not claiming that you're going to be able to know what a client is doing on a week-to-week basis. However, if you sit down with your key clients maybe once every 3 months and talk to them generally about how business is going, you'll be able to pick up on the trends. Because sometimes people start changing their strategies. And if you're behind the curve on that, then that can have a big impact on your business. What's going to happen if one company is looking at reducing the amount of print and doing more e-communication instead? Or worse still, perhaps they're thinking about stopping print altogether. If you're having that conversation early enough, you can start taking action to replace that business before the impact of it hits you. And that's the 3rd strategy. You should have a new business strategy in place. And again, there's far too many printing companies out there that have a sales team, but maybe they don't actually have some definitive plans on how they're going to win the business that they need over the coming months. So that's 3 things to look at from a management and strategy point of view. But what can you do right now in order to get things going? So now let's move on to the 4 things that you can do straight away. And the first of these is actually to make a list of your key clients. Far too many companies haven't actually worked out which of their clients are most important to them. And when they have that knowledge, they don't necessarily share it with all of their staff. And if you've got key clients, everyone in the company should know that these are important customers. These are VIP people that they should be looking after. Once you've made that list of clients, make sure you reach out to every single one of them. Try and arrange a meeting with them. Worst case scenario, have a phone call with them. But this is your time when you can undertake the 3rd action point, which is to ask them what are their forward plans on print over the next few months. Are they going to be doing the same, or is business going to tail off? Or even better, are they going to increase their work with you? And finally, make sure that perhaps you send each of your key clients a card with a thank you note for the business that they're doing with you, and maybe a little gift. It may seem like a small thing, but actually that can be really important. When I look further at that Google research, one of the key reasons for losing between 15 and 20% of clients was perceived customer indifference. In other words, many customers were moving because they thought that their clients and suppliers just didn't care enough about them. That wasn't necessarily the case. It was simply the fact that their suppliers didn't show them that they cared enough. And that can be enough to lose up to 1 in 5 clients. Make sure that you buck the trend of that industry report and make sure that you're reaching out to your current clients and you're also making plans for new sales as well.